hope you guys are doing good. We are back with some crafts.
And y'all, if you are an OG crafter, I feel like everybody kind of started their crafting career with card making.
I agree. I mean, I didn't start mine, but my very first Etsy shop was a card shop, and it was called Sweet Sentiments by Alicia.
Oh, well, I mean, so, let's take it way back to like preschool, kindergarten.
Oh, yeah.
When we first started crafting.
You're making cards for everybody.
We're making cards. So we're taking it back old school, and we're gonna make some cards today. And we're gonna be using a new product that I had never heard about. Honestly, it's odd. It's different, the feel of it. But it adds such a cute little charming character to your card. It would be a really good, like, if somebody wanted to do like a cross stitch pattern on a card.
Holly mentioned that before,
Actually, she's who I got it from.
Yeah, I think it'd be
so Holly mentioned that, and I think that it would be a really good material. We're going to show you how we work with it. Now, one thing, and we'll talk about it later, it is a little kind of finicky to cut with your Cricut, but we're still going to be working with it. We're still going to use a lot of good Cricut elements to make a super, super cute card. So if this is something that you want to recreate, we have a couple different things going on that you all can get signed up with. If you are just into crafting and you just want to, you're like, hey, I just want to make this card, I just want to recreate this exactly how you did it, you can do so by getting signed up. And for our dollar trial membership, that's going to give you 7 days of access to our membership, where you're going to get 20 download credits. Like I said, you're going to get access to everything that we offer within our membership for 7 days. And then after the 7 days, you become a monthly member. Now, if this is not you and you're already a member, and maybe you're a crafting veteran and you're ready to dive deeper and go deeper, we are hosting another Etsy Effect. We're hosting another, it's like a one-day conference. We hosted it last month. It did so well, but so many people wanted to come again. Right. We're doing it again next month. So if this is something, if you want to learn how to sell on Etsy, if you want to learn from six-figure sellers, really get the inside scoop on selling your crafts on Etsy, whether that be physical craft, digital crafts, print on demand, any of those are going to be great. If any of those that fits you into any of those categories, you're definitely going to want to be at the Etsy Effect.
Yes, and we've got the link in the description for you as well as in the chat. So if you're wanting to sign up, then you can click that link. And actually, let me make sure. It's not in the description, but we'll add it. It's in the chat, so if you guys are chit-chatting back and forth, you can click on that link, and we've pinned it to the top for you guys. Super fun. If you went to the last one, let us know in the comments what was your favorite part of the Etsy Effect. We had a lot of really good feedback from that.
Yes.
Like almost, we knew it was going to be good, but it was just like on the most unexpected. Like it was so good. So anyways, make sure that you guys do that. And if you're wanting to sign up for membership, we do have the link below for that. Also, our background's back. I don't know, did we have it last week? Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was here.
We did.
So yeah, anyways, we're almost back in action.
Also for those who are like, I know that we've had a couple comments like, when are we gonna be getting your new courses? Especially for those that signed up for Lifetime back in December. Y'all, we have been like head down working this week on some phenomenal stuff that is going into Maker U Junior year. I think you're gonna be so impressed.
Yes.
Stay tuned. It is coming up very, very soon. Just letting you guys know. So with all of that being said,
let's jump right in.
Let's get to crafting.
Let's do it.
Let's get to crafting.
Sadie is on honeymoon duty today. Brooks is on camera duty today.
Brooks is over here on camera duty. Sadie is on honeymoon duty. I'm gonna take my shoes off so I can stand on my little mat back here. So what we are going to be making today are these adorable cards, and let's go overhead so that you all can see these. They are so stinking cute. And the product that I'm sure you all have not used is TE perforated paper. So this is from Tailored Expressions. You can find this on their website, tailoredexpressions.com. It is perforated paper. But I wish there was a way for you all to like feel of this. First of all, you know when you flip paper, how you normally hear it?
It feels like
You don't hear anything.
No.
I don't know how to explain to you what it feels like.
it feels like the cross stitching stuff, but it's like cotton.
Yeah.
It's like soft.
I don't
it's
know.
Very interesting.
Anyway, this is the surprise, I guess, material that we're going to be working with today. And we are going to be making some super cute layered cards that just really elevate. Now, this is a card, first of all. I'm not a card keeper. I don't know about you. I'm not a store-bought card keeper. But if someone takes the time to make me a handmade card, I will never throw it away. Never once throw it away. So if you are wanting to make your gift meaningful, maybe you don't know what to get someone, so you're going to get them a gift card or some cash, either one, to make it memorable. Because you all are crafty people, I know you can. Making a handmade card is going to elevate that gift, and it's going to make even giving cash memorable.
And I think you can cross stitch on it, and actually we did sew on ours, so you can sew on it, you can stitch on it. That's why it's so versatile.
Go
I think.
overhead and I'll show you. We did do like a little stitch on the edge of the card, you can see here, and I'll show you how we did that. It's super easy. So you can stitch through the perforation in the cards, and we did add a little accent over here on the side. We didn't go like full into it, but I would assume that you would be able to cross stitch on these cards.
Yeah.
Like I don't see how you
Couldn't.
Yeah. So other than that, other than the tailored expressions perforated paper, let's go ahead and go back overhead and talk about all the materials that you are going to need for this project. So first up, let me move my stuff out of the way. First up here, we have our beloved Celebration Warehouse paper. You can see we have lots of beautiful colors to choose from today. If you all didn't know, Celebration Warehouse is a company owned by Ashley Falco, who is one of our loved six-figure Etsy sellers, who is actually a coach for us. Like she has her own side hustle, but she has her own, not side business, she has her own business, like a thriving business. Full-on business. We love Ashley here. But this is her Celebration Warehouse paper. If you all want to order from her, you can use code MGL to get 20% off. If there is another sale already happening, you cannot stack the codes. So just so you know, this is the paper that we're going to be choosing from. We do also have some embroidery thread here just to add that little thread detail. We have some foam tape. This is actually just from the Dollar Tree. This specific roll right here, any kind of foam dots, foam squares will work. We do have a zig pen here. This is a zig two-way glue. This is great if you are working with paper a lot. We also have some jute just to add a little bit here at the bottom. And then we have our needles for the embroidery. We also have a tape runner. There may be an instance, I think we did use it probably with this perforated to put it onto the scalloped edge. So we do have this. This is the scrapbook adhesives. It's from Amazon. It's going to be linked down below. You all know, if you've been around the channel, you know that hands down our favorite one is going to be the
ATG gun.
ATG gun, thank you. However, we no longer use it on lives because it is no longer sold in stores. So, anywho, that's why we use this one. Not necessarily because it's our favorite, but because it is readily available for you all to get your hands on. Yes. So yeah, other than that, you may want to, if you have a pair of reverse tweezers, you may want to grab a pair of reverse tweezers. That's just really going to help you when you are putting these smaller pieces together, because we do have 3 offsets on our little thank you word here. So you may want to grab a set of reverse tweezers if that helps you. But other than that, I think we're ready to go ahead and hop over to our share screen to Design Space, and we're just gonna go ahead and start the process of designing. So let me pull Cricut Design Space up, and here you can see that we have these cards already built, but I'm going to build one for you from start to finish. So you can see here, I really think I want to go with this one. I like this one. I'm not saying that I don't like this one. I think this one is really, really cute. There's just something about this pink one and the dark pink and the light pink that I really am enjoying right now. So we're going to do this one, and I'm just going to go ahead. Part of me doesn't like the deleting. Let's just hide. I like to just hide. So let's just go, oh, I didn't need to hide that guy. We'll hide all of our projects that we don't need. That one is attached, we'll hide him. That one is that one up there. And we will hide all of this. Give me just a second. This guy and this guy. Beautiful. So now all we have left is this one. Okay, so first thing you are going to do when it comes to building your card is you need to start with your base. So you have to think of the size that, yes, Judith, there will be a replay. We've only been on since 1:30, so it's not been 40 minutes. But yes, if anyone is curious, you can rewatch this video as many times as you want. It just lives on YouTube. So when you are creating your card, you need to think of the size that you want to create your card. So if you want to create, let's say what's a standard card size? Like a 5 by 5, not a 5.
Like a 4 by 5? I can tell you in our resource on our website.
Well, looky there.
I'm gonna look really quick and then I'll tell you guys.
Standard card size, you have a 5 by 7,
a 4 by 6,
4 by 6, and then you have a 3 by 5, right?
Yes. Well, okay. Yeah.
3.5 by 5, I think.
Yeah, 3.5 by 5 is right.
Okay, so today we're gonna be creating a 3.5 by 5. That is the smallest kind of little standard size. You have, like I said, you have a 3 by 5 standard size, a 4 by 6 standard size, and a 5 by 7 standard size card, okay? Now, when you are creating your card, if you are doing, for example, we're doing a 3.5 by 5 today. When you are creating your card, first thing you're gonna do is come over here to your shapes, and you are going to grab a square. So the square is gonna come in as a 2 by 2. Because this is not a perfect square, we need to come up here to the top where it's the size aspect ratio lives, okay? But we need to unlock that. Now, when you are thinking about the size of card you're creating, the height of your card is going to stay the same. So if it is a 3.5 by 5, the height of your card is going to stay a 5. Same thing with a 4 by 6. The height of your card is going to stay 6, but the width is going to be doubled. So the height, because it's a 3.5 by 5, needs to turn into a 5. You can see here, I've done that. The height of my card then changes to a 5-inch card. And then the width, we are going to double because you're going to put a score line through the middle of the square or the rectangle that we are creating that is going to cut your card in half. So, because we want 3.5 inches in width, to get our true width when we are making it, we're gonna double that 3.5, which then becomes a 7. So now we have 7 inches in width, 5 inches in height, and that is going to be the perfect base for a 3.5 by 5 card. Now I'm gonna change the color so that you can kind of see this a little bit better. Beautiful. But now I'm sure you're thinking, but Lauren, where do I know where to fold it exactly down the middle? Here is our next step. The next thing that you're going to do is you are going to grab a shape, and we're going to come up here to the line. Okay, you can see here that when you choose a line, it automatically comes in as a score line, which is perfect because that is exactly what we are doing today, is we are going to score this card down the middle. So once you pull your line in, no matter what size card you are creating, you are going to make the height of that line the same as the height of the card that you are creating. So we are creating a 3.5 by 5, and our height is 5, so our line also needs to be 5 inches, okay? Now, it does not matter that this is over here. What you're going to do next, select both of these. You can see they are both selected because they are both green over here on the layers panel. And once you have selected both your line and the base of your card, we're gonna come over here to where it says align, and we are going to center those perfectly together. And it really is that simple. No matter what size card you're creating, these exact same steps are going to be used every single time, okay? Now, before we click off anywhere, while these two layers are still connected, we must tell Cricut that we want that line to be scored exactly where it's at right now and not moved somewhere else, because Cricut doesn't know what we do not tell it. So although it looks correct on our canvas, if we were to go to make it right now, that line is going to be separate because there are two separate layers over here. So we kind of want these two layers to come together. And what we're going to do is we're going to come down here to where it says attach. And I love that they use a paper clip on that as the symbol, because that's truly what it is. It's like we're putting a paper clip on those two pieces and we're just kind of keeping them together. So we're going to come down here to attach, and we're going to attach those together. And now we can see that when we drop this menu down, those two pieces of our card are now attached or paper clipped together. So if you wanted to, if you didn't know, you can actually change the name of the attach, and now we can say, we can change it to card base. So now we know exactly what layer we are choosing when we come over here and click on it. Okay? So that's how you are going to create the base of your card. From there, if you want to create an inset of this, I don't know if you guys know this, but one of my favorite things to do is if I'm wanting to create a little inset piece, I like to come up here to where it says offset. I am going to change it to sharp edges because I want my the inset piece to be sharp and not curved corners. But you can come down here and you can move this to an inset, and because there is a score line down the middle, it will separate that. I don't know if you guys knew that hack, but that's one of my favorite hacks when it comes to card making. So let's just make this an even -2 inset and apply. And there you go.
We were like mind blown when we figured that hack out.
I mean, honestly, it's like one of my favorite things.
It's so sneaky.
Because now I have 2 inset pieces that you can put on both sides of the inside of your card, or if you don't want to, it's super easy if you just to come down here to contour and just contour one side out. And now you have a perfect inset and you don't have to go guessing with the measurements.
Love it. And you can use one for the front and then one for the inside.
Yeah. And the cool thing is I can come back down here to contour and I can pop that right back in. And that's it. So now that we have the base of our card made and our little inset, or this inside piece is what I'm talking about, this little guy. Now let's start creating the front half of our card. So we're gonna hop over to Maker's Gonna Learn. And the first one, working from the card up, the first piece that I need is the scalloped rectangle. So I'm gonna go over here to cut files. If you don't want to search for it and you're on the video, if you'll go down to the description, you're probably gonna have to hit the word more. It will drop everything down, and there are gonna be links to the files that we're gonna be using. You can just click those links and it'll take you directly to that page. So if you search for, I think it's scalloped rectangle.
It's scallop.
Scallop, okay. Scallop rectangle. Maybe if I spell it right, it will work. So it's just scallop rectangle, not scalloped with an ED. We're going to click this little arrow pointing down to download it. You can see here that it comes in as a zip file. We're gonna double click that and just make sure that it does get unzipped. And then we are going to grab all of the other elements that we need. Can you tell me the name of the floral one?
Yes.
Beautiful.
It is called Floral Card.
Oh, so hard.
Original.
I probably could have figured that out. So the floral one is this one, the floral card.
The other one is Fun in the Sun.
Okay. So once again, to download that, you're gonna click that arrow pointing down. It is going to come in as a zip file. We're going to unzip it. Now, this is a PNG and an SVG. So I know that we had someone asking about changing the colors. You can change the colors on this, especially if you choose the SVG version. Just know, if you choose the SVG version, you are going to have to go in there and create a rectangle and flatten it all together once you change the colors, but I can show you how you can do that if you want me to. And then the last one that we're gonna be using is a font, and I couldn't tell you the fonts. I don't remember.
We're using Molly Script and Cruise, and those are both newish.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, there's Molly Script is the first one, and then Cruise, that is on the other card that is going to be linked down below. It's somewhere in here. You can.
It's like on the first 2 pages or something. It's CRUZ.
Yes. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and download the Molly Script font. Same thing with fonts. You're going to click the arrow pointing down. The only difference is once you have downloaded that, you do need to, if you're on a Windows, you're going to need to right click and extract the font and then upload it into your character map. If you're on a Mac, all we're going to do is double click it. It should pop up our font book, and then we're just going to click install font. And that's it. Super fun. So now we're going to hop back over to Design Space, and we are going to start the process of creating the pieces on the front. So I'm going to come over here to upload. We're going to upload image. My favorite way to upload is popping my Finder back in view, and then just, let me go ahead and exit off of all of these so that I can kind of see. And then grabbing the piece that I need and dragging and dropping. So we are going to start with our scalloped edge rectangle. Beautiful, and we will resize that perfectly here in a minute. I'm just going to go through the process of uploading everything first. So I'm going to come back over here to upload, upload image, pop my Finder back into view. I'm going to open up this floral card. I'm going to bring in the SVG version so that I can show you all how you can change the colors if you want. Obviously it comes in huge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my size aspect ratio is locked. And I'm just going to change this to the height of the card, which I know is 5. Boom. And we're going to have to make it a little bit smaller. Let's just go ahead and make it 4. That might be a little bit too small, but we'll play around with it here in a minute. And then the last thing that I have is going to be a font, which should already be uploaded, but let me go ahead and grab a text box here. And let me make sure that this font is in our system fonts, and it's going to fall under MGL Molly. And it is not uploaded, so let me show you how you can pretty much tell Cricut, hey, I've uploaded a font, I need you to recognize this font now. So first thing we're gonna do, if you have been working in Design Space, you must save your project before you do this next step. So we're just going to click Save. From there, once you have hit save and saved whatever you're working on, we're gonna come up here to View, and we're going to reload Design Space, because when you download a font onto your computer recognizes it, but no other software is going to recognize it unless it is kind of closed out and re-uploads, or you open it back up and it now recognizes all the new things on your computer, especially when it comes to fonts. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reload Design Space, and that kind of like collects the data of what you have downloaded on your computer. So now, when the canvas opens back up to exactly where we were, you can see Cruise is still not downloaded, but we can see here, oh, my text box went away. We can see here that when we pull the text box back in, we come over here to our system fonts and we type in MGL Molly. Molly script is now there, where it was not there before. Beautiful. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is we're just going to start the process of building the front of our card. So this is actually a little bit taller than our card, so I'm going to make it, let's do 4.5, I think is gonna be a good happy medium, maybe like 4.75. I think I like 4.75. Okay, so our scalloped rectangle is gonna be 4.75, and I'm going to change it to pink. Oop, I keep trying to move those. Let's zoom in so we can see this a little bit more, and I'll bring this in too. Now, you can see that when I bring this in as an SVG, there is no like background image here. So what you need to do first, you don't have to, but it's just a good rule of thumb if you're wanting to, especially if you're wanting to change the color, we're gonna go ahead and grab a shape, and we're gonna make a rectangle that is 2.75 by 4 inches. So once again, we're grabbing a square, we're unlocking the size aspect ratio, and we said 2.75 by 4. So we're gonna do 2.75 by 4. And I'm gonna change that to white. And now I can move it back behind that floral piece, and we can go ahead and align these center. Okay, are we all on the same page? Does anybody have any questions?
You wouldn't technically have to do that unless you wanted a different color, right? Like if you wanted it to be blue or green or whatever.
You don't have to. No, you don't. I mean, so all I'm doing is I brought in the SVG. Let's say you decided to upload the PNG, you like the colors as they are. Let me just go back here and show you. If you are uploading the PNG, I'll bring it in and make sure that it has a background. And it does. And if you are doing the PNG, you can see that, where did it go? There it is. Gigantic. So we want the height to be 4.5. So it does come in with a solid background. So are we seeing the difference, this one versus this one? That's just why I did that quickly. It's not something that you have to do, but it does kind of help keep everything together. Now, if you want to change the colors of the floral pieces, you do have to use the SVG version, and then you would come in here. Now, these are all individual pieces, so you can change every single individual piece if you want to. You can see that this SVG has lots and lots and lots of layers, okay? For example, let's see, we've got this flower. You can now come over here and change it to, I don't know, you said blue. Or we can change this to green or purple or whatever. So you can see that all of these are, you can change them. Now, if you wanted to make it easier on yourself and you want to keep the same color, all of these green pieces are together. The red pieces are together. So if you wanted to make one color like the same color, what we can do is we can drag and slowly, it does take it a while because there are so many layers. Maybe we'll get there eventually. And move it to the blue, and see, you can see that that then changes to that blue color. Same thing with the green. We can move it up to the purple, and all of those green pieces change purple. So same thing with this one. You can move it, and you can, these colors are obviously not the colors that I would go for. I'm just showing you how you can change a couple of them and then use Color Sync to kind of move them all into the color that you want, quicker than choosing each individual piece and changing the colors. Are we on the same page?
Yes.
Cool. So now that all those colors are changed and I don't want that, I'm just going to come back over here to my uploads, and I'm going to bring it back in with the size aspect ratio locked, making it a 4.5 again. That's too big. What did I say? We'll just size it down. Now, once you have the colors changed to what you want, if you are working with an SVG, the reason that I had you bring in a square or a rectangle that is the same size is just so that you can kind of get a better reference. Not that you have to, because we'll go to one for just a minute. This material, in all honesty, is actually not super easy to cut on your Cricut. So that's why we are creating a rectangle, and we're just going to use scissors to cut. The reason that it is not super easy to cut on your Cricut is because, especially if you're doing print and cut, because of the perforated holes within this material, it doesn't pick up these registration marks even when we darken them, because we're placing it on a mat that I don't have. Oh, there's one. So go overhead. We're placing it on a mat, and you can see that it just doesn't give you as dark of a registration mark as it needs to. But go back to share screen. If you are doing the SVG to customize the colors, I still think it is a good rule of thumb to bring that rectangle in that is the same size as the file, and then that way we can just go ahead and flatten these both together to make it one singular layer. Although we're not cutting it, you could technically just flatten the SVG and be okay, but I like to have an idea of what it's going to look like. So that's why I think it is just a good rule of thumb to go ahead and bring in that rectangle and flatten them both together. So the last thing that we're going to need to do when it comes to creating this card is we are going to bring our text box in here, and we are just going to type in thank you. And let me do, now you can see line spacing is crazy big for this. We definitely want this line spacing to come way, 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 way down. And you can do that by moving this here at the top where it says line spacing. That is one way that you can do it. Or if you want to, you can kind of size your text pretty much to where you want it, like how large you want it, how small you want it. And then from there, what you could do is we can come up here to advanced and we can ungroup to lines. And now we can move this closer, just like that. And that's probably what I would do. Get a general idea of the size that the text size that you want, and then ungroup to lines and move your bottom line up closer to your top. Now, currently they are two separate layers, so we want to bring them back together because we are going to be putting an offset on two offsets on these words. So I'm going to come over here to my layers panel. I'm going to select both of these words, and actually let me move you down just a little bit since we are doing two offsets. We need to give it a little bit more space, so I'm going to select them both over here. I'm going to come down here to combine. I'm going to unite them together. It doesn't look like it does anything. However, when I come up here to offset, it's going to put an offset on both words so I can have the same offset on both. So obviously 0.25 is way too big. Let's go to 0.08 is sometimes a really happy place to live. And even that's a little big, so let's go to 0.05. I think I like 0.05 as my first offset, and then we're going to hit apply. Now I'm going to change the color of that offset to white, and I'm going to change my thank you to the pink that we have. And now I'm going to select the offset that I created, and I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to create another offset, but this time I am going to come up to 0.08 because I want it to be just a little bit bigger, and hit apply on that. And then I'm going to change it to kind of like this hot pink. So now we have our thank you offset and two offsets here that is going to live on the front of our card. And that's pretty much it.
Cute.
We are now ready to start cutting. And now that I look at this offset, I don't like it. I think I do want to go back down to that 0.05. I think it was a little bit too much, maybe 0.06. So much better. So I did 0.0, I went back and did 0.06 on that in case anyone was curious. So now we are ready to start assembling and the cutting process. Now would be a great time if anyone does have any questions to go ahead and ask whatever questions you have. Are we good? Is there anything?
People must be just watching.
Cool.
The chat is quiet.
Chat is quiet today. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the Make It. We are doing it on the mat, on a 12 by 12 mat. Now we did go ahead and already send this through the printer. You are going to print this material just like any other piece of paper. You're going to put it in the back of if you have a rear feed printer, you're going to put it in the rear slot of your printer. I'll show you the process that we go through when it comes to printing, sending it to your printer, printing it at best quality, choosing where it feeds from. But we did already print it, and we only have 1 or 2 more sheets of this, so I'm not going to print it again. We're just going to use what we have. But you can see that the Cricut has now placed every color that is the same. So our thank you is going to be cut out of the same pink as the scalloped card. We have our card with the brown. We have our insert that is going to be on white, which is the same color as the first offset that we created. And then we have our hot pink, red. It looks red on the screen. In reality, it's gonna be hot pink. So let's go ahead and hit continue. We are using our maker for today. Just making sure that it was connected. And it's taking a minute. Oh, it's connected to Bluetooth on somebody's computer.
That'd be Holly Jane.
If you don't care to let her know. Oh, there she goes, unconnected.
Okay.
So we're going to start. Let me just go ahead and walk you through the process of if you are sending it to your printer, how to do that. If you do not know, I just want to make sure everybody knows and understands exactly how to do this. So you're going to click send to printer. For this specific one, we do not need the bleed on here, but we always want to turn on system dialog. From there, you're going to hit print. Now, it might pop up behind Cricut Design Space. Sometimes you have to pull it down and then it pops up here. So what I like to do is I like to always tell my printer where exactly I want it to feed from, especially if I have a rear tray in my printer. Sometimes it just pulls that paper or specialty material through a little bit easier. So you're gonna select rear tray. If you want a super high quality print, if you want it to deposit more ink, I change it to photo. Not everyone here in this office does. Just know that it is going to deposit more ink onto your paper, and it does sometimes gives a little bit better of a print quality. Not all the time, but that's gonna be your personal preference. But one thing you're never gonna do is leave the print quality on normal. You always need to make sure you change that to best. And then once you're done, you're just gonna hit print, and that's it. But we're gonna hit cancel because we've already printed, and we're just going to start the process of cutting the different pieces of our card. So we're gonna start off with the white. Now, if you wanted to, these little inset or pieces that are gonna go inside the card, these are great if you don't feel like you have good handwriting. It's great to just go ahead and maybe use a writing font. In case you did not know, MGL does have some writing fonts that you can use. They are actually called sketch fonts on our website. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna type out your sentiment in one of those sketch fonts and attach it to one of these insets, and your Cricut can write it for you. Now, there are a lot of layers to this card, so we're not going to do that today, but I just wanted you to know that you can. So we are using medium cardstock. And we're just gonna go ahead and load this into our printer, or Cricut.
I feel like I do that.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
We're picking up what you're putting down.
You picking up what I'm putting down. And then play. Now, while that is doing that, I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of start organizing what I want and what I don't want. I don't need that. I don't need, oh, look, I don't even have to get a new, looky there. I probably shouldn't have even used that white. It's all good. Okay. Once that's done, we are going to, if you've never worked with paper before, first of all, after your Cricut cuts it, turning your mat upside down and letting gravity do most of the work is going to be the best thing for you. I'm just gonna grab these guys and place them there. Next up is our hot pink layer. So I'm so sorry. I feel like I have such a mess on the table. I'm really trying to do better. Let me get all of this down here. Okay, perfect. Hot pink layer going on the mat. We are going to grab our brayer. We're gonna bray this down. Still keeping it on medium cardstock. Loading that in. Next up, we have our light pink.
What?
I lost a piece, but it's okay. Oh, there it is. I found it. Whew. Okay. White, hot pink, light pink, and tan is coming up next. Now, while that is cutting, let's talk about this paper. I want to rip this paper, and if I could get my mic close enough to this, I want you all to hear how weird this is. I'm going to take my mic off. Give me a second. Because this is, I don't even know if you're going to be able to hear it. Hold up. I'm stuck. I'm just going to get close to this paper. Are y'all ready? Did you hear, can you hear that?
It's ASMR.
Did you hear how odd this paper sounds? Like, it's just,
It's the weirdest.
it doesn't even feel or sound like paper. But it's paper, I promise, because it's like, you can feel it when you tear it, like how it frays. It's paper. The oddest paper I have ever seen, but I love it. Okay, so here is our little hot pink layer with the thank you. Kathy says it sounds like silk. It's kind of like,
It feels like paper towels
I don't
and
know.
actual paper had a baby
yeah,
to me.
yeah, I don't know. It's cool. It's cool if you've not used it. Okay, loading this up, and then we will start working with our perforated paper. Now, I'm just going to, one thing that I did notice, do I have to choose it again? It didn't make me do that last time. One thing that I did notice is that you can tear this paper along the perforation if it is like a shorter distance. But what we're just going to do is we're just going to cut along one line of perforated holes. Now, I may be cutting too big, and if that's the case, we will just go back and trim it down some. But we're going to fussy cut. Did not know that was a term until I started working here.
Yeah, me neither.
And if you didn't know, now you do. When you're hand cutting something, it's called fussy cutting. Did you know that, Brooks?
Or fuzzy cutting if you're me.
So it's F-U-S-Y, fussy, and Alicia thought it was fuzzy for a little while. I mean, I did too.
But it's fussy.
I don't know. I'm sure somebody in the comments knows, but I have no clue.
I know somebody knows.
I know somebody in here knows.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. We're just gonna cut that off. Now, I do feel like I have a lot of extra white at the top, but we're gonna, oh, I just love how Celebration Warehouse paper cuts. It's just so perfect every time.
Like butter.
That's the true ASMR right there. And I just about did something real bad. I accidentally jerked that thing off. I did jerk it off a little bit, but I did jerk it off.
Lauren.
I did yank it off of the. It's always me.
It's always Lauren, and it's always that. We love you for it.
I really don't mean to. I just do it. Okay. Anywho, sure. We're just gonna go ahead and take these extra pieces off so that our Cricut doesn't mess up when
Oh,
Somebody said that fussy cut is not exact, but kind of freehand. Everybody, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, last piece. Last piece.
This is honestly, I mean, you're going to assemble this card pretty fast, considering how many layers and stuff it has.
Whoop. Oh, darn it.
It probably won't even let you. It won't.
Well, it's wanting me to, I didn't get around to editing the tools. I need to edit the tools. So go back to share, go to share screen. We are using the scoring stylus. That is something that I forgot to tell you. We are using the scoring stylus versus the scoring wheel. If you are working with glitter cardstock, I would say the scoring wheel probably would do better. But for most of our projects, we like leaving the scoring stylus in clamp A because I don't want to have to change out clamp B. Just facts, I don't want to. So we're editing the tools to scoring stylus over the scoring wheel, and then we're gonna hit play. Now, let's go ahead and go overhead, and let me move.
You can use sticker paper to print that front, but I honestly wouldn't waste your sticker paper. I would print it on cardstock or just something thicker. But if you don't have a thick, like if you only have basic copy paper, I would do it on a sticker. But don't waste your sticker paper if you don't have to.
Right, okay. I don't know what's happening with this thread. I was just gonna pull a small piece out, but it's not. It's all, wow, it is. Something else, y'all. Something. Okay, I'm gonna show you how you can add a little bit of a embroidery or thread detail, maybe not. If you don't have embroidery thread, you don't have to use embroidery thread. And actually, embroidery thread may be a little thick for these holes, maybe not. If it is a little thick, you can just separate the strands. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that I cut this down to size, and I did not. So we're gonna cut some more of this off of here. There, and there, and maybe like right here. Beautiful. Now that fits more like what I want it to look like. And now I can bring in, I can grab my needle and I can add some detail to this, and I want to use this needle here. Well, oh, this side. No, I don't. The eye of that needle is way too small for this embroidery thread. Let's try to find one of these guys. This one's gonna be better. Okay, some of these needles are made for actual like thread, like sewing thread, and some of them are made more for embroidery thread. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna thread our needle. Oh, Lordy day.
Are you sewing that stitch on there right now?
Yes, I'm sewing it on before. Why?
Oh, I was just wondering.
Yeah. Okay, so once you have threaded your needle, we're just gonna tie a knot at the end, like this. And with this perforation, you might only need one knot at the end. I'm just gonna go ahead and put two in the same spot. I don't know if you all can see that, but ugh, I hate when that right there happens. And I have to pull it through. Like that, Okay. And then I'm going to take the tail off of that. And we are just going to start. I'm going to check and see if this embroidery thread is too thick. First of all, no, it fits. But I may be a little too close to the edge. I am. Okay, so you're gonna need to go at least 2 little holes in from the edge of the perforation. That way it kind of just gives it more room to show up and more room for you to work. And you're gonna just have to, I don't have a needle threader in here. I'm doing this free-handed. And one thing about embroidery thread is if you don't get all those strands through there just like that, you might as well just cut it off and start over. Oh, I was about to say, where'd my needle go? Does anybody have any questions?
Lois was asking if you can use a paper cutter for that perforated paper. I don't see why not.
Yeah, you should. Okay. I don't know that I don't want to go. Nah. You could. Maybe we'll see what 3 looks like. Ollie's only done 2 though. We'll go back and do right here. And then we're just going to kind of put it across the edge here and then go back up through the bottom. Oh, she threaded it on the paper. I thought she just added a side stitch like this.
Well, you can do whatever you want to add.
I didn't think she sewed it all the way through the paper. I thought that she just added like a little side stitch.
Well, so we were talking about before how it's better to sew it before rather than after you put it on, because she put it on and then decided she wanted to stitch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think how you're doing it would be the best way to do it.
Just adding like a little stitch on the side right here.
Yeah.
Well, I've not even done, look, y'all.
If it were me, I'd be grabbing my sewing machine.
You know what? That you can do that. You can do that. You can do that. But you know what? I showed you how you can do it, but I'm going to take this off and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, you could just keep going. And you can add more. I even think it's cute to stitch like on the flowers in random places. You could stitch beads on there. Like.
Yeah. Now, actually, stitching little beads on there would be really cute.
Mm-hmm. I love an embellished card. Truly.
Yeah, that's really cute. We're not going to go through that whole process today, but just know you can do it, and it's right there. But we're just going to assemble the card all together. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're just going to go grab some ATG, or not ATG.
Basically. Double-sided adhesive.
Double-sided adhesive. We're just going to add a little bit to the back like this, and we're going to place this down on here like that. Now, if you wanted to, you can add some jute along the bottom like this. Now this, I personally think that I would use hot glue for this. But
there's a hot glue gun right beneath you.
Okay, let's go ahead and We'll work on something else while the hot glue gun heats up. Let me get this plugged in. Beautiful, and then we're gonna come back and finish this here in just a second. What I am going to do now though is I'm going to unload this part of my card. You can see where that score line is. I'm going to grab my bone folder and we're just gonna go ahead and make that crease in our card where the Cricut scored. Beautiful. Make sure that that looks good and it looks so cute. And we're just gonna go ahead and place the inside pieces really quickly. Move all of that out of the way. Oh no, what have I done? There it is. So we're going to place this one here. Now if you wanted to, you could place the other one on the other side. Not necessarily, but it's not necessary, but it is completely up to you what vibe you're going for. And now we are going to assemble our thank you piece before, so we'll have it ready to go once we get the jute glued down. We can put this on top of the jute. So we have these two pieces. So that's gonna go on there first. And this is where the zig pen is really gonna come in handy. So we're gonna grab our zig pen. I'm going to prime it. You can do so by bouncing it. You can see there that it's primed. And this right here is where your reverse tweezers will really, really come in handy. So I'm just going to place that glue there. Like that. And do the same thing with the word thank.
Lois is asking, instead of perforated paper, because you use regular cardstock and then do perforations manually, it's not going to look the same.
Yeah.
But you could, I mean, if you wanted to add texture, it's just not going to look the way that paper looks. That paper has holes in it, like all the way through.
Oh my God.
You put the glue on the wrong side, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Rookie mistake. Just wipe it off.
I did a little bit. We're just going to go with it and hope that it doesn't stick down to the... You know what we might do? We might just put it on this. Because it dries clear anyway.
That's all right.
So we're just going to put it on the offset to make sure that it goes down so that I'm not trying to... Oh, good. That really is a rookie mistake, ain't it?
Yeah, but I be doing it too. I be doing it all the time.
Look, you wouldn't even be able to tell.
Nobody will know.
Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. Same thing with this one. We're just adding that layer. Now, because I do have glue on the front side of that, I'm afraid to turn it over and stick it down and try to get that glue on there. So I'm just going to be adding the glue to this offset right here. Is that better? Okay. Okie doke. And then, placing it down there. And then we're gonna grab the U and place that there. I don't know what it is, but there is something about a double offset that just...
Especially on paper projects.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. jute. We're gonna start with a little bit of hot glue on the back here. I think I want it to go about around in there, so that's a good area. Sorry, I keep forgetting the position of the new camera. We're just gonna add a little bit of glue here. Just so it can give it a little bit of stability to get us started. And now we're just going to start wrapping our jute around the bottom of the card. Now I don't have enough to go around one more time, so I'm just going to take this glue, get some hot glue there, and hold that down like that, and then we will cut that excess off like that.
Cute.
Pretty simple. Now to attach this here, we do want to have a little bit of dimension, and you do want to let your glue dry, unlike myself. I'm gonna add a little bit more there. So to give us a little bit of dimension, because we are gonna have to have this sit up off the card a little bit, we're going to grab our foam tape, and we are going to start placing foam tape around the edges of our card.
The hot glue gun that Lauren is using is the Lily hot glue gun. And I'm gonna get a link for y'all real quick if you're wanting to get one. If you got Prime, you can get it by Friday.
Friday.
And yes, I have allergies or something my kids brought home from school. I think I'm sick more than I have allergies this time. You could tape the jute on the back, but that jute, you know how it's like very fibrous? I feel like you put tape on it and it just goes away.
I don't think that tape, personally, on the jute is going to help it stay as well. And actually, before I take the that off of there, I want to go ahead and add my thank you here, which I'm also going to do with hot glue, I think. Just on top of the jute. I think that's gonna help. So I'm just going to, because I'm putting it on top of the jute, I'm gonna add some hot glue there. And we're just gonna pop that bad boy there. Now, if you wanted to, we could go ahead and add, but really, the jute gives it dimension, and having that hot glue on top just secures it down even more. So I don't think we need foam tape even up here. I think you're fine.
Yeah.
So now after you've done that, we are going to take these pieces off of our foam tape. Just a second. There and there and there. And we're gonna attach this to our card. And boom.
Boom.
Look how cute.
Fresh. Thank you. Come again.
So adorable. What do you think?
I love it.
I think it's so cute.
My favorite thing, and I do love the perforated edge, but like I love the scallop behind it. I think
yeah.
that just makes it look so girly and dainty. It's very, very cute.
Oh, I didn't realize how far or zoomed out we were.
Yeah.
Y'all could really see my mess. Ooh.
That's okay. That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Y'all, when I craft, and I feel like you all will probably,
They get it.
you're going to be in the amen corner with me. But when I craft, I take up
The whole table.
The whole table.
I was
If
try-
there's any space available when I'm crafting, it is taken up by my stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to film a
Period.
sewing tutorial earlier, and I was like, I gotta do this when I have the entire table. Which sewing does take more room than card making, but yeah, I take up a bunch of space too. So, but yeah, we still have the link in the chat. If you were not here at the beginning of the show and you are like really loving all the stuff we've been putting out, we've been putting out a lot of videos on like selling your crafts even,
Yeah.
and like stuff like this is sellable on Etsy. We are hosting a one-day event. Ashley's going to be there this time, right? Ashley Falco. Sadie should be speaking possibly, but we're doing what we call the Etsy effect. So it's like a one-day event where you guys come. It's about 4 hours long, packed full of just like priceless knowledge. So if you guys are wanting to start selling your crafts on Etsy, that event is coming up and you have to sign up in order to go. Now, if they're NGL Plus members, they can just go, right?
Yep.
So there you go. They have to get a link in their email and then they can attend.
Lifetime as well.
Yes. So if you guys are members in that way, make sure that you're there for that. It is the same that we ran last time, but I think that they're going to be talking about different stuff.
Yeah.
So if you came to the last one, don't feel like oh, I've already seen it. No, I think you should go again. That's just me.
If it's free.
If it's free, you should just go again. Yeah. So anyways, we'll be back next Wednesday. So we will see you guys then.
Sounds great.
All right.
Bye, guys.